baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. We got hoops back in our life tonight with the Golden State Warriors and the LA Lakers. As the Warriors, they're right now in ninth place in the Western Conference. Middle of the pack offensively, defensively. We're going to get to the calls in just a second. 888-957-9570. Oh, Warriors last in the NBA in free throw attempts allowed. No Steph Curry for at least the next 4 games. No Gary Payton II, possibly until the playoffs. They're 29-29, 24 left, 14 of the 24 against teams over 500. How will this play out for the Golden State Warriors as they try to get back into the playoffs and defend their NBA championship? By the way, Hayden West on IG. Shout out to Hayden West. I posted a video of Shasky and Lubman arguing this morning about the Giants. And Hayden West goes, I thought Lubman was the nicest guy at the station. Lubman was giving Shasky that business. Us? Oh, absolutely. You tagged it too, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Pull this up. Was I swearing?
Who cares? If you're swearing, you don't like it, I'll take it down. Well, but I thought it was funny. Well, let's get to Petalumba's finest. That's right. Rising reporter in the Bay Area. I work with him every day. Cisco hits are getting great. Petalumba's finest, DJ Dalton Johnson, Warriors reporter at NBC Sports Bay Area, down in L.A. as the Warriors get ready to kick off, I guess, the unofficial starts to the second half of the season against the L.A. Lakers. DJ, what's happening, man? How was your break?
It was good. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Anytime, man. Anytime. And I guess I want to start with this one. We'll get to Steph and Gary Payton II in just a second. But the overall vibe of the team after that first half where they stumbled to 29-29, 7-22 on the road, 22-7 at home. What's the overall vibe down there in L.A.? Does it feel like that championship chemistry is coming back? What have you seen so far in the practices at UCLA?
Honestly, the vibe was really good. I mean, that first practice, even from the outside, like it was music blasting, it was loud. Steve Kerr was smiling. I mean, he said that there was really good trash talk. Like it was all those kind of things that you want to see, right? People wanted to be back together. He said it took 45 minutes to start practice because everyone was just trying to catch up with each other. They were telling stories, having a good time, those kind of things. And it was just interesting to kind of hear him say that this is now a 24-game season. And we know that we can't, wipe the previous 58 games clean, but I think that they're really trying to be like, all right, we know how congested the standings are. We know that this has been a weird up and down season. If there's any time to lock in, it's now. So I thought that they had a really good, energetic first practice. Yesterday was a little more light, kind of locking into a few things, getting some shots up, looking at film, things like that. But talking to everybody, it seems pretty lively and really fun out here right now.
Wow, you hear that kumbaya down there at UCLA?
No, that's great. I love that everyone's getting along. But I guess my question is have they gotten better defensively? Have they gotten better in terms of on-ball defense and point of attack and lateral quickness and being able to communicate and switch? Because the biggest issues with this team is that their best player is out, Steph Curry. We don't know when he's returning. And their best defensive player in terms of perimeter defense, Wiggins, is also out right now. I'm not trying to be the cynic here and rain on the parade. The vibes are great. I love hearing that, Dalton. But, how does that translate to tonight?
No, I get you for sure, right? And look, I don't think that they're going to all of a sudden wake up from having a 6-day break and be like, oh, yeah, this is how you play defense again. No, that's not the deal, guys, right? That's not how it works. But I do think that what Draymond Green said right before the break, as far as, look, he challenged them pretty well. I don't want to say he called them out, but as close to kind of calling out your teammates as in the healthiest way possible. When you say we don't have a collective will on defense, that's no joke, obviously, right? I mean, personally, I think it might have been a little bit late. I mean, he could have said that a month before. He could have said it 2 months before because there just simply hasn't been a collective will on defense. So I like that he actually said it and felt he could use his voice because I think that voice has been missing a little bit this season. So, I was kind of asking a few of the guys, look, what is that collective will? And it's very kind of dead in the eyes, energy and effort. It's simple as that, right? You can't have these lulls that they have on defense. Communication's a great point, like Shasky was saying, as far as, you look and there's times when they just look lost. There's times when they look great, like they have the defense from last year. But the numbers, they are not the same as last year.
No, they're not.
Simple as that,
Dalton, it feels like to me, and talk about getting lost, the deeper the possession goes, couple passes, the shot clock starts to wind down, some backdoor movement, some movement off ball.
Corner three-pointers.
Corner threes.
And the next thing you know, it's just like, 2 or 3 guys are looking to go, I thought you were going to get him. And I'm like, dear God, am I watching my 6th grade basketball team here? It drives me nuts. So are they going to get a more focused Jordan Poole defensively, Klay Thompson defensively in a game like tonight? Because that's what I care about. Those two. If those guys are going to be heavy rotational guys, are they going to be able to crank it up? What does that look like?
Well, those are the 2 guys that I think might have needed the break as much as anybody. I mean, look, the good thing is that Klay Thompson came off of his first back-to-back since April of 2019, right before the break. He also had a break right after that, right? So it'll be really interesting to see how his body recovers, how he plays, not just tonight, but tomorrow as well, because he's expected to play. They have 3 more back-to-backs. He's expected to play in both of them. But if he plays 34 minutes, if this goes into overtime, what's tomorrow going to look like? So I'm really interested in that. But then Jordan Poole, I think, again, we talk how much Kevon Looney has turned into Iron Loon, Mr. Consistency for them. He plays every game. The same thing with Jordan Poole. Obviously, it's different histories with Kevon Looney has an injury history and things like that in the past. He's overcome it. Jordan Poole has played every single game as well. And then last season, the only games that he didn't play were the 6 games that he had to sit because of COVID. Yeah. Like, that's it. So he plays game in and game out. Talked with him about what he did over the All-Star break, and it was pretty much one word: slept. I mean, he got his rest back. I think he needed to get his mind in a reset. I think he needed to get his body in a reset. He seems in a very good, focused place. But again, this whole season has been very much, okay, talk about it, but I need to see it now.
Yeah,
so
we haven't seen it.
The mode that I'm in is show me. So a good break, but got to see it.
Yeah, no doubt. We all need to see it. They're 29-29 as we're talking to Petaluma's finest at NBC Sports Bay Area. Dalton Johnson doing a hell of a job covering the Golden State Warriors the past 2 seasons. He's down in L.A. covering the team. All right, let's get to Steph and Wiggins. Let's start with Wiggins. Personal issues. He's out. He was out in the Clippers game, and boy, they could have used him against the Clippers, especially at the end of the third quarter where the Clips go on the 22-4 run. What is the latest on Andrew Wiggins?
So it's a family matter. That's all I can really say about it. Is it's a family matter, and whenever it's something like that, you can't really go too further. They gotta hope that he's back sooner than later. Obviously, they're respecting his time, but you talk about storylines coming out of the All-Star break, and Andrew Wiggins getting back to pre-injury Wiggins has to be one of the biggest storylines and one of the biggest X factors. I mean, look at what he's done right before these little stops and starts that he decided to deal with. Right before he had that long 15-game stretch where he missed, I think he put up 36 points. The last time that he played, it was only his second time scoring more than 20 points after that 15-game stretch. He looked like All-Star Game Wiggins in that game, where I think he scored 29 points, 7 rebounds. I think he might add 4 assists. So he was doing a little bit of everything, right, where he looked like he was actually attacking the basket again, because that's when the game is really coming to him. It's great when his three-point shot is going down and it's over 40% like it was at the start of the season. I mean, I think at the start of the season it might have been something ridiculous like 45%. But when he's attacking the basket and cutting and doing it where there's no fear, now you're like, okay, that's the Andrew Wiggins that they really need, that two-way Wiggs, that wing player that the Warriors have been missing and kind of were searching for, obviously, post-KD. So, again, as far as the time away, it really is TBD. You got to hope later because, again, he's so key and important to unlocking both sides of the ball for the Warriors.
I hope he's okay, and I hope his family's okay because your mind starts to wander in this day and age. You never know what it could be when it comes to those things. And I hope he's all right. I hope his family's okay. Okay, we had Steph news yesterday, and we had GP2 news. You can answer the Steph question however you want. Maybe, a guesstimate on when he might return. We know how important he is. But the GP2 thing is just confusing to me. I'm confused. The whole thing. The acquisition, the Tortorol, he didn't want to play, he did want to play, he didn't get a shot, he did get a shot. Can you clean up some of this confusion for me? Because I'm so confused on GP2.
Yeah, it certainly is a confusing thing. I mean, as far as, look, he had the core muscle surgery. We know he was expected to be ready for the regular season. it sounds like it lingered and lingered, like the pain just kept going. So, I mean, I don't know if it was because of the surgery, if there's something else there or not. Obviously, another confusing part, again, right, where the Warriors play him the night before they trade for him. He plays 22 minutes, which was the second most he's played the entire season, and now he's shut down for at least a month.
Right.
You know, when I've seen him the last 2 days, he's in practice here. He's doing resistance band work, medicine ball work, but it's all rehab, conditioning, and strength right now. It is not basketball activities. Simple as that. And he's not going to be reevaluated until mid-March.
Wow.
As far as the Toradol goes, he did take it. It was not through a shot. It was orally. He did admit that to us, that yes, he did take it, but it was basically, look, I needed to grind it out. I'm a competitor. I mean, we know his story, the way that he has grinded out through the G League, the way he's grinded out for 10-day contracts, things like that, right? So you can only imagine what's going through his head, his body to be like, I need to be on the court. Like, this is too long. So, again, I think that he's incredibly happy to be back with the Warriors. Simple as that. But, man, you talk about the moves that were around in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
All these teams made big win-now moves, and these teams made a lot of big win-now offensive moves. Mm-hmm. So the Warriors counter it with their defensive star from last season with a win-now move with a player who can't play now. It has to just be incredibly frustrating for the front office, for Gary, and like you said, it's one of the most confusing, just odd situations we've seen in a long time.
No doubt. Dalton, we got about 30 seconds or less. Stephen Curry, when do you guess that he'll be back? We know he's out the next 4 games against the L.A. Lakers, the Rockets, the T-Wolves, and the Blazers. When do you anticipate him coming back?
Out the next 4 games, I would not be surprised if he's back for that Pelicans game, second out of a back-to-back right before a road trip starts. So that's kind of my target date right now that I'm looking at. So that would have him miss 5 more games, but finish off at Chase and then second night of a back-to-back right before a road trip. Mm-hmm. Nothing guaranteed, but he's looking better and better. I've seen him do work on the side, and just as his body and the sweat, things like that. The first practice, a lot of work on the trainer's table. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, saw more of just kind of ice pack and really, really energetic as far as with his teammates, all of that. So it's definitely looking better and better, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was that Pelicans game. No guarantee, but that's kind of the date that I'm circling right now.
That'll be before the Lakers game Sunday, March 5th. That'll be a Friday night at Chase Center, March 3rd. So hopefully he is back because these next 24 games are no joke. Dalton, continue the great work, man. We'll see you a little later tonight on the television side as the Warriors take on the LA Lakers. Good stuff, Dalton.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, good stuff.
DJ Petaluma's finest there, shedding some light on the Golden State Warriors. We'll get